Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Barakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagunaragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Rana Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitam Scha Om Jnana Timaranda Shagana Chana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Guraganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Vidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanum Suchandavananam Balarka Shilanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyasishwara Sridharam Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripasindubhyevata Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. We're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila chapter 6, the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So at this point, Mahaprabhu refers to the Atmarama verse. So I'll begin with verse number 186, which is the Atmarama verse. Atmaramas chamunayo nirgranta apiyaru krame kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim itam bhuta guno hari. Those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. So everyone will be attracted to Krishna, even those who are self-realized souls. Shuni Bhattacharya Kohe Shuna Mahashai A Shloka Harta Shunite Bansha Hoy. After hearing the Atmarama verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya addressed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My dear sir, please explain this verse. I have a great desire to hear your explanation of it. Prabhu Kohe Tumiki Arta Kora Taha Age Shune. Prabhu Kohe Tumiki Arta Kora Taha age shuni pachayami koriba arta jeva kichujani. The Lord replied, first let me hear your explanation. After that I shall try to explain what little I know. And as I remarked yesterday, the Lord says, I will explain it, but first let me hear your explanation. So this is a way of proceeding to establish the correct meaning. First, you explain, then we'll discuss. Shuni Bhattacharya Shloka Korila Bhyakyan Tarka Shastra Mata Utai Bibida Vidan. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then began to explain the Atmarama verse, and according to the principles of logic, he put forward various propositions. Nababida Arta Koila Shastra Mata Loya Shuni Prabhu Kohekichu Ishad Hashiya. The Bhattacharya explained the Atmarama verse in 9 different ways on the basis of scripture. After hearing his explanation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, smiling a little, began to speak. Bhattacharya Jane Tumi Sakat Brihaspati Shastra Vyakya Korite Aiche Karo Nahi Shakti. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Bhattacharya, you are exactly like Brihaspati. the priest of the heavenly kingdom. Indeed, no one within this world has the power to explain the scriptures in such a way. So Mahaprabhu says, Tumi Shakat Brihaspati. You're directly your Brihaspati. Nobody can explain the scriptures like you. Kintu tumi arta koile panditya pratibhai ihabai shlokera ache aro abhiprai. My dear Bhattacharya, you have certainly explained this verse by the process of your vast learning. But you should know that besides this scholarly explanation, there is another purport to this verse. Bhattacharya prartanate prabhu vyakya koila taranava arta madhye ekanachunila. Upon the request of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to explain the verse without touching upon the 9 explanations given by the Bhattacharya. Atmaramascha shloke ekadasha parahoy pritak pritak koila pader arta nischoy. There are 11 words in the Atmarama verse, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained each word one after the other. The words in the Atmarama verse are Atmaramaha, Cha, Munaya, Nigrantaha, Api, Urukrame, Kurvanti, Ahaitukim, Bhaktim, Itam Bhuta Guna, and Hari. One compound word is there, Itam Bhuta Guna. Tatatpara pradanye atmaramas milaya astadasha artakoila apipraya loya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took each word specifically and combined it with the word Atmarama. He thus explained the word Atmarama in 18 different ways. Bhagavan Tara Shakti Tara Gunagan Achintya Prabhava Tiner Najai Katan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his different potencies, and his transcendental qualities all have inconceivable prowess. It is not possible to explain them fully. Anyan Bhagavan Tara Shakti Tara Gunagan Achintya Prabhava Tiner Najai Katan Anyajatas Sadhya Saran Kori Achadan Eitine Hare Siddha Shudakaraman. These 3 items attract the mind of a perfect student engaged in spiritual activities and overcome all other processes of spiritual activity. Sanakari Shukadera Sanakari Shukadeva Tahate Praman Ematananartha Korana Vyakyan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the meaning of the verse by giving evidence concerning Sukadeva Goswami and the 4 rishis, Sanaka, Sanat Kumar, Sanatana, and Sanandana. Thus the Lord gave various meanings and explanations. Spiritual activities other than bhakti yoga are divided into 3 categories: speculative activity, conducted by the Jnana Sampradaya, learned scholars, fruitive activity conducted by the general populace according to Vedic regulations, and the activities of transcendentalists not engaged in devotional service. There are many different branches of these categories, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable potencies and transcendental qualities, attracts the minds of the student engaged in the activities of karma, jnana, yoga, and so forth. The Supreme Lord is full of inconceivable potencies which are related to his person, his energies, and his transcendental qualities. All of these are very attractive to the serious student. Consequently, the Lord is known as Krishna, the all-attractive one. I'll repeat it. Sanakari Shukadeva Tahate Praman Ematananarta Koranabhyakan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the meaning of the verse by giving evidence concerning Sukadeva Goswami and the four rishis, Sanaka, Sanat Kumar, Sanatana, and Sanandana. Thus, the Lord gave various meanings and explanations. Shuni Bhattacharya Manik Hoila Chamatkar Prabhuke Krishna Jani Kore Apanadikar. Upon hearing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atmarama verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was struck with wonder. He then understood Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be Krishna in person, and he thus condemned himself in the following words. So Mahaprabhu is citing the example of Sukadeva Goswami and the four Kumaras, of persons who are in the transcendental platform, who are not attracted by mundane activities, but they were attracted to Krishna. And in the case of Sukadeva Goswami, he then heard from his father Vyasadeva the understanding of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the case of the four Kumars, when they were arguing with the doorkeepers, Jai and Vijay, at the entrance of Vaikuntha, they appeared as small infants, small boys. Then they smelled the tulsi and the saffron offered at the lotus feet of Vaikunthanatha, of the Lord, and they were attracted. And it changed their whole conception of life. So it changed them more from the impersonal conception to become attracted to the Lord himself. So, and that's how Mahaprabhu gave the understanding that Krishna is attractive to all kinds of persons, whether they're realized or not realized. Shuni Bhattacharya Mani Hoila Chamatkar Prabhuke Krishna Jani Kori Apanadikar. Upon hearing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atmarama verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was struck with wonder. He then understood Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be Krishna in person, and he thus condemned himself in the following words. Ihota Sakat Krishna Mui na Janiya Maha Aparada Koinu Garbita Hoya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is certainly Krishna himself. Because I could not understand him and was very proud of my own learning, I have committed many offenses. Atmaninda Kore Loila Prabhura Sharan Kripa Kore Bare Tabe Prabhura Hoilaman. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya denounced himself as an offender and took shelter of the Lord desired to show him mercy. So he says, as it mentions, Atmaninda. So, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is Advaninda's self-indictment, or saying about oneself that I'm an offender. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya denounced himself as an offender and took shelter of the Lord desired to show him mercy. Nija Rupa Prabhu Tare Koraila Darshan Chaturbuja Rupa Prabhu Hoila Takan. To show him mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu allowed him to see his Vishnu form. Thus he immediately assumed 4 hands. Dekaila Tare Age Chaturbuja Rup Pache Shama Bamshi Mukha Swakiya Swarup. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first showed him the 4-handed form and then appeared before him in his original form of Krishna with a blackish complexion and a flute to his lips. Deke Sarvabhauma Dandavat Kore Padi Puna Uti Stuti Kore Dui Kore Judi. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw the form of Lord Krishna manifested in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately fell down flat to offer him obeisances. Then he stood up and with folded hands began to offer prayers. So in the beginning, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very condescending to the Lord, and he's thinking he's a young man. Mahaprabhu took sannyas when he was 24 years of age. So Sarvabhauma thought, I can transfer him to a superior sampradaya because he's from the Bharati sampradaya, which is not so high, but I can transfer him to another sampradaya, and I can also speak the Vedic literatures, which will allow him to maintain his position of sannyas better by making him more equipoised in all the rules and regulations. But now he's been thoroughly convinced by Mahaprabhu, defeated in his understanding what he was presenting, and then Mahaprabhu has showed him his divine form. So now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is his whole previous position as a logician and, relying on logic, that has all been dismantled. It's all been dismantled. He no longer is situated in any position, you can say. Then when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw the form of Lord Krishna manifest in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately fell down flat to offer him obeisances. Then he stood up and with folded hands began to offer prayers. Deki Sarvabhauma Dandavat Kore Padi Puna Uti Stuti Kore Dui Kore Judi. Prabhura Kripaya Tara Surila Sab Tatva Nama Prema Dana Adi Barnena Mahatva. By the mercy of the Lord, all truths were revealed to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he could understand the importance of chanting the holy names and distributing love of Godhead everywhere. Shata Shloka Koila Ek Danda Na Jaite Brihaspati Taichi Shloka Na Pare Korite. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya composed 100 verses in a very short time. Indeed, not even Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly planets, could compose verses as quickly. Shanishuke Prabhu Tare Koila Alingan Bhattacharya Prema Beshe Hoila Achetam. After hearing the 100 verses, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happily embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was immediately overwhelmed in ecstatic love of Godhead and fell unconscious. Ashrustamba Pulaka Shreda Kampa Tarahari Nachegai Kande Pade Prabhu Padadwari. Out of ecstatic love of God, the Bhattacharya shed tears and his body was stunned. He exhibited an ecstatic mood, and he perspired, shook, and trembled. He sometimes danced, sometimes chanted, sometimes cried, and sometimes fell down to touch the lotus feet of the Lord. Deki Gopinathacharya Harashitaman Bhattacharya Nrityadeki Hase Prabhu. While Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was in this ecstasy, Gopinathacharya was very pleased. The associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all laughed to see the Bhattacharya dance so. Gopinathacharya kohe Mahaprabhur prati se Bhattacharya Prabhu koile egati. Gopinathacharya told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my Lord, you have brought all this upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Prabhu kohe tumi bhakta tomara sangha hoite Jagannath I hare kripa koila balomate. Mahaprabhu replied to Gopinathacharya, you are a devotee. Because of your association, Lord Jagannath has shown him mercy. So Mahaprabhu often does this. He attributes his qualities to others. And Mahaprabhu says, you are a devotee. Because of your association, Lord Jagannath has shown him mercy. So it's because of you that this has happened. Sabe Bhattacharya Prabhu Sustira Korila Stira Hoya Bhattacharya Bahustuti Koila. So Mahaprabhu glorifies Gopinathacharya like that. And then after this, Mahaprabhu pacified the Bhattacharya, and when he was quieted, he offered many prayers to the Lord. Jagat nishtari le tumi seo alpakarya ama udari le tumi e shakti ascharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, my dear Lord, you have delivered the entire world, but that is not a very great task. However, you have also delivered me, and that is certainly the work of very wonderful powers. Tarka Shastre Jada Ami Jaichi Loha Pinda Amad Drabile Ami Drabaile Tumi Pratapa Prachanda. I had become dull-headed due to reading too many books on logic. Consequently, I had become like an iron bar. Nonetheless, you have melted me, and therefore your influence is very great. So he says, I've read too many books on logic. I've read too many non-devotional books, and therefore, due to that, I become hard-hearted. I became like an iron bar. Nonetheless, you have melted me, and therefore your influence is very great. Stuti Shuni Mahaprabhu Nijaba Basa Aila Bhattacharya Acharya Dware Bika Koraila. After hearing the prayers offered by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence, and the Bhattacharya, through Gopinathacharya, induced the Lord to accept lunch there. Aradina Prabhu Gela Jagannath Darshane Darshana Korila Jagannatha Shai Otane. Early the following morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see Lord Jagannath in the temple, and he saw the Lord rise from his bed. Well, this is early the next morning. Pujari Aniyama Mala Prashadana Dila Prashadana Mala Paya Prabhu Harsha Hoila. The priest there presented him with garlands and prasadam. Okay. Mala and prasad ana. Ana is the food also. The priest there presented him with garlands and prasadam, and had been offered to Lord Jagannath. So prasadam, Mahaprabhu with him Lord Jagannath's garland and also prasadam. This pleased Chaitanya very much, that the priest gave him garland and prasadam. Say prasadanam mala anchale bandiya Bhattacharya gari aila twara jukta haya. Carefully tying the prasadam and garlands in a cloth, Mahaprabhu hastened to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Arunodaya kale hoila prabhura agaman sekale Bhattacharya hoila jagaran. He arrived at the Bhattacharya's house a little before sunrise, just when the Bhattacharya was arising from bed. Krishna Krishna Svuta Kohe Bhattacharya Jagila Krishna Nama Shuni Prabhur Ananda Bharila. As Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya rose from bed, he distinctly chanted Krishna Krishna. Lord Chaitanya was very pleased to hear him chant the holy name of Krishna. Bahire Prabhurateho Paila Darshan Astebhyaste Ashikoy Koilaj Charana Bandhan. The Bhattacharya noticed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu outside, and with great haste he went to him and offered prayers unto his lotus feet. Vasati asanadiya tuhita basila prasarana kuli prabhu tarahate dila. The Bhattacharya offered an asana for the Lord to sit upon. And both of them sat there. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the prasadam and placed it in the hands of the Bhattacharya. Prasadana paya Bhattacharya ananda hoila snana sanya danta davana jajapin na koila. At that time, the Bhattacharya had not even washed his mouth, nor had he taken his bath or finished his morning duties. Nonetheless, he was very pleased to receive the prasadam of Lord Jagannath. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya he's a real, what we would say, a Paka Brahmin. He's very careful about following all the principles of being a Brahmin, and he's a Bhattacharya. And he would normally offer prayers and take bath and everything before he eats anything. But here it is. At that time, the Bhattacharya had not even washed his mouth, nor had he taken his bath or finished his morning duty. Nonetheless, he was very pleased to receive the prasadam of Lord Jagannath. Chaitanya prasade maner sab jadyagela shloka pariyana bakana korila. By the mercy of Mahaprabhu, all the dullness in the mind of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was eradicated. After reciting the following two verses, he ate the prasadam offered to him. The two verses are Shuskam paryushitam vapi nitam va dura deshataha prapti matrena bhaktavyam natrakala vicharana. Na desha niyamastatra, na kala niyamastata, praptam anam drutam shishtar, muktavyam harim abravid. These are verses from Padma Purana. The Bhattacharya said, one should eat the Mahaprasadam of the Lord immediately upon receiving it, even though it is dried up, stale, or brought from a distant country. One should consider neither time nor place. The prasadam of Lord Jagannath is to be eaten by gentlemen as soon as it is received. There should be no hesitation. There are no regular principles concerning time and place. This is the order of the Supreme Lord. Dekinandita hoila Mahaprabhu Arman, Prema Vishta hoya Prabhu koil age alingan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to see this. He became ecstatic in love of God and embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Duijane Dori Duhe Korana Nartan Prabhu Britya Duha Sparshe Dohara Fuleman. The Lord and the servant embraced each other and began to dance. Simply by touching each other, they became ecstatic. Shweta Kampa Ashuduhe Anande Bashila Prema Vishta Hoya Prabhu Koheti Lagila. As they danced and embraced, spiritual symptoms manifested in their bodies. They perspired, trembled, and shed tears, and the Lord began to speak in his ecstasy. Ajimui Anayase Jininu Tribhuvan Ajimui Korinu Vaikunta Arohan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Today I have conquered the three worlds very easily. Today I have ascended to the spiritual world. Ajimora Purna Hoila Sarva Abhilas Sarvabhauma Hoila Mahaprasade Vishwas." Mahaprabhu continued, "I think that today all my desires have been fulfilled because I see that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has acquired faith in the Mahaprasadam of Lord Jagannath." So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had been taking Jagannath Prasad for so long and offering it to others who came to visit him. But now Mahaprabhu says, "I think that today all my desires have been fulfilled because I see the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has acquired faith in the Mahaprasadam of Lord Jagannath." So then Mahaprabhu is saying, but today he's acquired real faith in what is prasadam. He has some understanding. Aji tumi nikapate hoila Krishna Shroy. Krishna aji nikapate toma hoila sadoi. Indeed, today you have undoubtedly taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, and Krishna, without reservation, has become very merciful toward you. Aji se kandila tomar dehadi bandan aji tumi china koile mayara bandana. My dear Bhattacharya, today you have been released from material bondage in the bodily conception of life. You have cut to pieces the shackles of the illusory energy. Aji Krishna Prapti Jogya Hoila Tomarman Veda Dharma Lange Koile Prasadana Bakan. Today your mind has become fit to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna because, surpassing the Vedic regulative principles, you have eaten the remnants of food offered to the Lord. Yesham Saeva Bhagavan Dayayed Ananta Sarvat Manashrita Pada Jadi Nirvyalikam Te Dushtaram Atitaranti Cha Devamayam Naisham Mamaham Iti Di Shrigala Bhakye. When a person takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead without reservation, the unlimited merciful Lord bestows his causeless mercy upon him. Thus he can pass over the insurmountable ocean of nescience. Those whose intelligence is fixed in the bodily conception, who think, "I am this body," are fit food for dogs and jackals. The Supreme Lord never bestows his mercy upon such people. So the Lord bestows his causeless mercy upon persons who have taken shelter of his lotus feet. Then one can pass over the ocean, insurmountable ocean of nescience. But on the other hand, persons who are caught in the bodily conception, and they are food fit for dogs and jackals, and the Lord doesn't bestow his mercy upon such people. Those are in the bodily conception. Etakohe Mahaprabhu Aila Nijastane Se Hoite Bhattacharya Kandila Avimane. After speaking to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence. From that day on, the Bhattacharya was free because his false pride had been dismantled. Chaitanya Charana Bine Nahi Janayana Bhakti Binu Shastrara Arana Kore Vyakyan. From that day on, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya did not know anything but the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And from that day, he could explain the revealed scriptures only in accordance with the process of devotional service. Gopinathacharya Tara Vaishnavata Dekiya Hari Hari Bolinache Hati Talidiya. Seeing that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was firmly fixed in the cult of Vaishnavism, Gopinathacharya, his brother-in-law, began to dance, clap his hands, and chant, Hari, Hari. Gopinathacharya is very happy, seeing that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has been converted to become a Vaishnava. He began to dance, clap his hands, and chant, Hari, Hari. Aradina Bhattacharya Aila Darshane Jagannath Nadeki Aila Prabhustane. The next day, the Bhattacharya went to visit the temple of Lord Jagannath, but before he reached the temple, he went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dandava kore koila bahu bida stuti, danya kore kohenija purva durmati. Then when he met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Bhattacharya fell down flat to offer him respects. After offering various prayers to him, he spoke of his previous bad disposition with great humility. Bhakti sarana shreshta shunite hoilaman, Prabhu upadesha koila namasankirtan. Then the Bhattacharya asked Mahaprabhu, which item is most important in the execution of devotional service? The Lord replied that the most important item was the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nashtyeva, Nashtyeva, Nashtyeva Gatiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Shlokarartha Shunaila Korea Bishtar Shuni Bhattacharya Mane Hoila Chamatkar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very elaborately explained the Harinama verse of Brihad Naradiya Purana, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was struck with wonder to hear his explanation. Gopinathacharya Boli Ami Purve Jay Kohila Shuna Bhattacharya Tomar Setak Hoila. Gopinathacharya reminded Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my dear Bhattacharya, what I foretold to you has now taken place. Bhattacharya Kohetare Kori Namaskare Tomara Sambande Prabhu Kripa Koila More. Offering obeisances to Gopinathacharya, the Bhattacharya said, because I am related to you and you are a devotee, by your mercy the Lord has shown mercy to me. So now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is appreciating his brother-in-law Gopinathacharya, and he says to Sarvabhauma says, because I'm related to you and you are a devotee, by your mercy the Lord has shown mercy to me. To me, Mahabhagavata Ami Tarka Ande Prabhu Kripa Koila More Tomara Bandhane. Because you're a Mahabhagavat, Bhagavata, a first-class devotee, whereas I am in the darkness of logical... You are a first-class devotee of Mahabhagavata, whereas I am in the darkness of logical arguments. Because of your relationship with the Lord has bestowed his benediction upon me. Vinoy Shuni, Tuste Prabhu, Koila Alingan, Kohila, Jana Koraha, Ishwara Darshan. Mahaprabhu was very pleased with this humble statement. After embracing the Bhattacharya, he said, now go see Lord Jagannath in the temple. Jagadananda Damodar Dui Sangeloya Gariaila Bhattacharya Jagannatha Dekiya. After visiting the temple of Lord Jagannath, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya returned home with Jagadananda and Damodar. Uttama Prashad Bahuta Anila Nijabipra Hate Dui Jana Sangedila. The Bhattacharya brought large quantities of excellent food, Uttama Prasadam, very, very, very nice prasadam. The Bhattacharya brought large quantities of excellent food remnants blessed by Lord Jagannath. All this prasadam was given to his own Brahmin servant, along with Jagannananda and Damodar. Nija Krita Dui Shloka Lakiya Talabate Prabhuke Diha Bole Dila Jagannananda Hate. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then composed 2 verses on the leaf of a palm tree. Giving the palm leaf to Jagannananda Prabhu, the Bhattacharya requested him to deliver it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhustani Ailadu He Prashada Patrilaya Mukunda Data Patrin Nila Tara Hatepaya. Jagannananda and Damodar then returned to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, bringing him both the prasadam and the palm leaf on which the verses were composed. But Mukunda Datta took the palm leaf from the hands of Jagannananda before he could deliver it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Mukunda is very intelligent, he knows what's going to happen. So he takes the palm leaf where Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya composed 2 verses glorifying Mahaprabhu, and first Jagannananda takes that. Mukunda. Mukunda's very intelligent, Mukunda Datta, and he takes those palm leaves from Jagannananda, and he will write those verses. Dui shloka bahira bite likiya rakila tabe Jagannananda patri prabhuke loya dila. Mukunda Datta then copied the 2 verses on the wall outside the room. After this, Jagannananda took the palm leaf from Mukunda Datta and delivered it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu Shloka Paripatra Chindiya Velila Bitedeki Bhakta Sabha Shloka Kante Koila. As soon as Mahaprabhu read the 2 verses, he immediately tore up the palm leaf. However, all the devotees read these verses on the outside wall, and they all kept them within their hearts. The verses read as follows. So Mahaprabhu, as soon as he reads the verses, he tears up the palm leaf. But they're already written on the wall outside. So, and here, these are the 2 famous verses written by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartameka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charitamrita Kripambudir Yastam Aham Prapadye Kalannashtam Bhakti Yogam Nijam Ya Pradush Kartum Krishna Chaitanya Nama Avirbhutas Tasya Padaravinde Gadam Gadam Liyatam Chittabringa. These are the 2 verses. First verse. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartam Eka Purusha Puranaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charitamrita kripam budir yastam aham prapadye. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge. His devotional service, Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. And the second verse, Kalan nashtam bhakti yogam nijam ya pradushkartum Krishna Chaitanya nama avirbhutas tasya padarabinde garam garam liyatam chitta bringaha. Let my consciousness, which is like a honeybee, take shelter of the lotus feet, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. So he's glorifying Mahaprabhu and saying that he has come to give devotion and revive devotion to everyone. Edu Shloka Bhakta Kante Ratnahar Sarvabhauma Kirti Doshe Daka Bhadyakar. These two verses, composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, will always declare his name and fame as loudly as a pounding drum, for they have become pearl necklaces around the necks of all devotees. These verses will declare Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's greatness, how he has glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarvabhauma Hoila Prabhur Bhakta Ekatan Mahaprabhur Seva Vina Nahi Janayan. Indeed, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became an unalloyed devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not know anything but the service of the Lord. So it's getting a little late, so I'm going to stop here. Just a few verses left in this chapter. But tomorrow we'll read those verses. Today is Ekadashi. Huh? Huh? Amita. Kamika Ekadashi. Okay. Kamika Ekadashi. Very good. Oh, this isn't these aren't you can put these in the basket. They say my name on them. They say my name on them, but the ones that don't say my name on them are these. It's because they've been played so much, it's hard to read the name. But these say Vidura Krishna. Vidura Krishna. So that's Vidura. But I've been playing these for a long time. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Maranamon Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Raguna Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jao Ite Vignana Shamista Puran Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Tasamar Padarenu Mora Panchagas Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas Janame Janame More Abilas Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhya-lila Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Did you sing Sri Hari Vasari Giti? Okay. Well.
Maharaj, may I close?
Yeah.
Shri Shri Guru Brahma Vandana
So, Sri Hari Vasari Hari Sangana Kadasi. Page 267, 267. Can you move those, put those glasses on that table?
Yeah, because somebody can step on me.
Okay. Okay. Shri Hari Vasari Hare Kirtana Bidan Nicharam Bila Prabhu Jagatera Pran Punyabanta Shiva Sangane Shubharamba Utilo Kirtana Dwani Gopala Govinda Mridanga Mandira Bhaje Shankar Karatala Sankirtana Sange Sab Hoilo Mishala Brahmande Utilo Dwani Puriya Akasha Jodikera Amangala Jai Sabnasha Chaturdike Sri Hari Mangala Sankirtana Mojanache Jagannatha Mishara Nandana Sabara Angete Shobe Sri Chandana Mala Anande Nachoye Sobe Hoye Bibola Nijanande Nache Mahaprabhu Vishwambara Charanera Tale Shuni Ati Manohara Baba Be Shemala Nohi Baba Be Shemala Nahi Rohoye Galaya Chindiya Paroye Giya Bhakatera Gaya Jaranama Nande Shiva Vasanana Jane Jarara Senache Shiva Senache Apane Jaraname Valmiki Hoila Tapodana Jaraname Ajamila Boilo Mochana Jaraname Shavane Samsara Banda Guche Heno Prabhu Avatari Kali Juge Nache Jaraname Loy Shuka Narada Bedaya Sahasrabadana Prabhu Jara Guna Gaya Sarva Mahaprayaschita Jai Prabhu Ranama Se Prabhu Nachaye Deke Jata Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jana Vrindavana Dasha Tuchu Parajuge Gana Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridharaju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Niri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupan Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsiko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Vishvavarenya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ramayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Kuladvip Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Ekadasi Upavas Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Kamika Ekadasi Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.